Hello and welcome to Bryant Active Bryant Systems on YouTube, and this video is all about your chakras and how you can energize them in the shower. But first of all, I'm going to talk a bit of history about shamanism, shamans, and about Dr. Alberto Villoldo, PhD, that was working as a doctor, then realized after cutting open brains and stuff that the medical system doesn't really work in the way to stop the body from getting sick. Does that make sense? So he believes that the body can heal itself, and I believe in that as well. But some things it can't heal. Does that make sense? So I've had stories where a woman I met randomly, she said that she had breast cancer, and she cured it herself by doing holistic methods like detoxes, coffee enemas, saunas, and doing yoga. That helped her to rebalance and to get the breast cancer out of the body, and she totally recovered. And that's a great story, isn't it? And I had a client that was suffering with grieving from a family member dying. So I said, right, use this bark flower remedy. Let me do your chakra healing on your chakras. And I found that her first one was out of balance and her fourth one was out of balance. So I energized it and done some techniques and told her to buy some certain things. And this massively helped her to overcome her grief, which was great. And Alberto Villoldo was talking about himself when he thought he injured his shoulder. And because he's a very high up and very powerful shaman, people will try and attack shamans energetically more and more. The more healthier and cleaner and more loving you get, it rolls people up. So he was had this injury for over a year. Then he was doing some shaman practice work with another student and himself. And the student said, oh, you've got a dagger in your shoulder. Do you want me to take it out? And obviously Alberto Villoldo said yes, but he was quite skeptical because he's dominantly left-brained and not right-brained. So the other shaman took the dagger out, and within 3 days, the pain had completely gone. And he said he was going to go and have an operation on that shoulder to correct the problem. So I believe that when I meet a client or meet somebody the first time and they tell me they've got an ache or a pain, I think, is it neurosomatic? Is it in the brain? Or is it the body giving them signals? Or is it they've been sent a dagger or a dart? But when I first got into personal training I started to get into it in 1999 and then become a trainer in 2000, and didn't know any of this stuff. And this stuff, it fascinates me so much that you can tap into your energy centers to heal yourself and to heal your life, and how you might have written a life contract that you don't agree with anymore. So you need to change it with the shaman. Does that make sense? Or you feel trapped, or you've got somebody that's in your life that won't leave you alone. So then you need some cord cutting done, which you can do with feathers on yourself, which I never knew that till recently. So it's really, really important to remember that the Hindus believe that there's 7 chakras, but the shamans from Peru believe that there's 12. But the main ones you work with are 8. Okay? So when you work with the 8th, it's a luminous energy field that you open up. And you use that when you're doing the healing on the person, the friend, the loved one, the family member, in which to help them realign and rebalance. So I believe strongly now that most people that suffer with depression and dark thoughts and just feeling horrible, 1, it can be a hormonal problem. 2, it can be a dietary problem. But then it can be an entity, or somebody has sent you something energetically that's got into your energy field. So about 10 years ago, I was working with another high up practitioner, And she went, Scott, you must wear lapis on your skin or around your neck, and this will stop you from getting psychic attack, because I know you're really open to the woo-woo stuff. And it was really funny that when I was in San Diego, California, I was sitting on a bus traveling somewhere, and two women sat either side of me, and they were talking about voodoo. And I'm like, what the hell is voodoo? And I've got a book here called The Voodoo Shaman. And Alberto Villoldo was talking about where this guy was into voodoo, and before he became a shaman, he said that he didn't believe in any of it and thought it was a load of nonsense, and said that he wanted the voodoo guy to send him some voodoo and see if it worked. And within 2 days, he was chronically sick. And getting on the phone and say, can you take it away? I'm really sorry. I shouldn't have disbelieved you, but can you get rid of it? And within 3 days, he was back to normal again. So energy medicine is very, very, very powerful, in my opinion. But it's only, a lot of people are not open to it. They think it's all bullshit, and they're not open to energy, even though our body is always making energy. Does that make sense? So after them two stories about Alberto Villoldo going through his own trials and tribulations before he became a shaman, he realised that the shaman tribes in Peru were never sick. They never got real illnesses and diseases because they prayed to the earth, they prayed to Pachamama, they loved the family, they heal each other through using spirit and shaman techniques. So we've got these 8 chakras, okay, and they all represent different things. So the first one is tribal association, family, and testosterone for a man. The second one is rhythm and flow and balance in your life. And then the third one is power and self-will. So if you do a liver cleanse, one of my liver cleanses, you'll find that this will get really brighter, and you'll be so committed to what you want to do in your life when you're procrastinating and self-sabotaging because of this chakra is weak. The fourth one is all about giving and receiving love and pushing love out there. And in a lot of women, female clients, I found that this is shut down because it's been broken by father, mother, or boyfriend, girlfriend relationship where they're broken up and had their heart broken. Then you've got communication. So a lot of people have a thyroid issue, underactive or overactive, and this could be to do with just not communicating with their inner self or their body, or they find it hard to communicate with other people. Like some women have a really deep voice, and this could be connected to this chakra being not balanced. Does that make sense? Then you've got the third eye, which is here. And the third eye is your intuition, for you to see things, for you to be open. And then you've got the seventh chakra, which is here, which is all to do with connection to God, universe, and planet. And the clients that say to me, oh, I try it, but I'm not into it, this part of the head is really closed down. And then we've got the seventh chakra, the eighth chakra, sorry, which you can open and energize and bring it into the body to energize all the chakras. So let's talk about energizing your chakras in the shower. So what you do is that you put your left hand on the bottom of your spine, and your right hand, you use your 3 fingers, and you do an anti-clockwise motion 4 times over the vortex. If you can feel it, you may not feel it for the first couple of times. And then as you do 4 times, you flick whatever you feel, and even if you don't feel it, flick it into the water, because that's the sludge that you may have in that chakra. And then you go up to the second, and you do the same thing, anti-clockwise 4 times. Then you do it on the 3rd, then you do it on the 4th, then you do it on the 5th, then you do it on the 6th, then you do it on the 7th, anti-clockwise, okay, 4 times. Then they're all open. Then just let the shower go quite warm, and imagine a white light going all through these chakras, energizing them all. Okay, doing some deep breathing exercises like breathing in for 4, hold in for 4, breathe out for 4, breathe in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4. So do that all the way through your chakras, okay? And then close them clockwise 4 times, 4 times, 4 times, 4 times, 4 times, and 4 times at the top. Then once you've done that, you've got to bring your hands up to close the 8th chakra. And as you close it, visualize a bright light or a fiery sun, bringing that into your body. And as you bring it into the body, bring it down to your heart. And just give thanks for the energizing of them chakras in the shower. Then get out and dry yourself. And just sit for a while. Just do some deep breathing. So breathing into belly, then chest. And then breathe out, tongue to roof of mouth. Do that for about 10 breaths and then just sit there and see if you feel different. Now, I practice this every morning now because I find that it really energizes me and really balances me. And what I do afterwards is that I use a dowser and I dowse on all the chakras to see if it's actually worked. And it actually works. It's amazing. So you could do this same technique laying on your bed. So you could lay on your bed or lay on the floor, open the 8th chakra before you do it. Okay, so what you should do before you do that, you should put your hand on your heart here and then just do 4 deep breaths. 4 in, hold for 4, 4 out. So do that for so many breaths until you feel totally relaxed. Then bring your hands up and then open from the back to the front, to the side and diagonally, and try and close your eyes and see if you can feel anything that may need to be healed. So there may be a hole in that energy area. Does that make sense? Then go and lay down and then open up all your chakras. So going anti-clockwise 4 times on all of them with your right hand. And then once you've done that, then think about a bright light coming through the body. Think about it 5 or 6 or 10 times and then close them. And then do some deep breathing for 10 or 20 minutes and just see how you feel. And you just feel totally relaxed and at peace. So when I'm opening up the window chakra, I don't know if I said that right, and I'm doing a healing on a client, before that I'm doing a ceremony to call in spirits to direct me and help me on what I need to do during the session. Does that make sense? So this is where you need to be really right-minded dominant. Even though Alberto Villoldo has a PhD and he's a doctor, he said categorically in his videos, he doesn't really believe in it. But he knows he has to do it for it to work. Does that make sense? And if you've got an entity in your body, this entity could be coming from your father, your mother, a dead relation, or somebody that's had a car crash or an accident where they've not said their I love yous and their goodbyes. And when this happens, they want to jump into somebody in which to release them into the ether. And this is what shamans do. And what we see is a big difference in the person's attitude, the way that they're thinking. Everything that they're doing in their life changes. So some people can have, a very bad drink problem or very bad drug problem, which has come from a dead auntie or uncle. Does that make sense? So by being the shaman to release it enables the person to go back to normal. And Alberto Villoldo said that he had a little child that was screaming that had her father die. And the father didn't get a chance to say goodbye. And she kept screaming, misbehaving and having a real bad time. And she went into his office and picked up this crystal and put it on her chest to get the entity out of her body. She did it intuitionally to get it out of her body, which I think is absolutely amazing that a little girl could be that clued up that she could do that. If you read Barbara Banner's book, Healing Light or something like that it's called. I can't remember the exact name. But in that book, you can see the chakras of vortexes. And you can see how they go out of the body, like especially the love chakra can go right out of the body. And if you find that you, like I do, I attract schizophrenics and people that are not balanced in their mind. Because they're open, they're so open, they can see these lights going through the body. Like if you look at it online and look at the chakras, you can see these energy centers where you've got, this one is green, this one is blue, this one is yellow, the lower one is orange, the lower one in your, where your testes are or your vagina is red. So over a period of time, you can learn techniques on how to see these energies and feel these energies. So when I was doing my level 4 with Chek, he showed me how to feel the energies going through the body and how and what they mean. So you have to empty your mind, which somebody that's too left brain could never do this. You have to empty your mind and let spirit or intuition come in to tell you what's going on with that chakra or that energy center. And then you can use dowsing on the different energy centers in which to find which one is stronger and more powerful than the other. And then energize it and heal it and get it to rebalance. So there's lots of techniques that shamans learn on how to rebalance energies throughout the body. And I believe that if your chakras are misaligned and you've got a real strong masculine body, but you keep bench pressing all the time because you want a bigger chest, that's because you've got daddy issues. So you need to work on your daddy issue. Does that make sense? Because who cares whether you've got a big chest or not? No one. Same as I've got 18-inch arms. Nobody cares. I care, but nobody else cares. Does that make sense? The same as if you've got a uterus issue, it could be something to do with your first and second chakra. If you've got a heart issue, like a skipping a beat, that could be something to do with your love chakra. Yeah? The same as if you've got upper neck pain, say you've got trapezius pain, it could be coming from your fourth. Or say I've been working with a client at the moment and she's been suffering with really bad headaches. And I said, right, do this. We do the shaman healing, headaches completely gone. Now, whether it's the shaman technique or whether it's that I've got her to go parasympathetic with her diet, I've got her to relax more, I've got her to stay off her computer, I've got her to go out in nature, I've got her to go and sit under trees and do shaman healing with me as well as corrective exercises. But she had constant headaches for over 2 years and now they've completely gone. So was it a toxin? Was it a parasite? Or was it my healing energy that helped her? And that's the thing, we can heal ourselves, but sometimes we need to see another professional in which to get the insight that what you may not be seeing. Does that make sense? So the way I look at it, I don't know everything by far. Yes, I've read a lot of books. Yes, I've done a lot of courses, but it still doesn't mean I know everything. It still means that I have to go and see other professionals to get that deeper help. Does that make sense? But if I've got an ache or a pain, I put some cream on it, or I massage it, or I do a muscle release, or I do a massage on it to release it. Does that make sense? And when you know your body really well, really well, like you really love yourself really in-depthly, but not in an ego narcissistic way, but you really love yourself. And when you feel these feelings, instead of running to the doctor, you think about, or what I think about as a shaman, I think, what is it I haven't done? Or what is it I've eaten today that might have caused that? Or if I burnt myself, I use aloe vera and gets rid of the pain straight away. Does that make sense? Instead of taking a pill. Or if I get a headache, why have I got that headache? Or I've been on the computer too much. Or I've eaten too many carbohydrates. Or I exercised and I should have drunk a bit more water. Does that make sense? And this is what I love about the shaman techniques. There's so many of them and so many ways to heal yourself. So let's say you feel like everything's on top of you. And I was talking to somebody recently and they said because of their father died, it really affected them. And I understand that because my dad left when I was 2 years old. And I was like, that's affected his whole life. But now he feels that he's a victim. So what he should do is write himself as the victim warrior. And as he writes that and goes and burns it, that gets rid of the metaphysical in the body. And that will help him change the way that he thinks and not be a victim anymore because he's releasing it into paper. The same as the shamans believe that you've got the stone people. So if you, this is a bit way out there, but if you get a stone and you blow your negative energy into it, it releases it and gets rid of it. It's just amazing that these techniques really, really do work. Now, when somebody's really dominant in their left brain, all they can see is science. But now the chakras have been backed up by science by William A. Tiller in the book, The Science of Human Transformation. Brilliant book. Explains it to you in-depthly. They've done scientific studies on it to prove that they're there. To absolutely prove that they're there. And I know in the hospital, in the NHS, they do crystal healing therapy and stuff like that now. So the minds are becoming more and more open to woo-woo or old healing techniques. So the shamans have been around for 4,000 years practicing these techniques. A brilliant DVD you should watch is called Horseboy. And Horseboy is not porn, it's about a young kid that has autism. And the mother and father take him to see lots of shamans around South America and stuff like that. And he sees repeated, they film it all. But it's the horse that heals them. Horses have lots of power. The same as a dog. A dog can sniff your illness. A dog will know when you're sad. Animals can feel, and you know, a dog's sense of smell is 2,000 times stronger than ours. So they might be on an area of your body and they can feel the disease that you've got and they're trying to help you to heal, which is wonderful considering 90% of all dogs are all wolves. They're all wolves. I said this to my mum, and my mum's been breeding dogs for 40 odd years. And she went, yeah, son, you're right. Yeah, they are. They're all wolves. They're tamed wolves that people have got in their homes. So can you see how everything goes back? If you go back 10,000 years or 4,000 years, the shamans were using plant medicine to heal. And this is, some people can go and do ayahuasca and they have a great experience and it changes their life. But some people can do LSD and end up with schizophrenia like Syd Barrett from Pink Floyd and never be the same again. So you have to be highly careful when you're messing with things like that. And I've done LSD in my early 20s, but I've never done it since. But I can feel energies and stuff like that. And as you start working on your chakras more and more, you start to feel it. You start to understand that if I put my hand over my heart, I can feel it's resonating. Does that make sense? And if I do it to somebody else and I switch my mind onto it, I can feel it. The same as if you put your hands together like that. If you close your eyes, you know, one of my clients said, oh, it's the heat coming from your hands, but it isn't. You've got chakras in the palm of your hands. And this is what healers do. They put their hands on people. Even, you know, these nutty religious guys where they're pulling Satan out of the body and all that. It's a bit pantomime-y, but they can still do that. The same as when you're dead and the vicar goes, the Holy Ghost and all that type of stuff. But shamans open up the chakras and release the chakras to follow you and cleanse them and energize them. So when you go into the next world, you don't have the same problems that you had in this world. But the vicars are just doing that. And they don't really believe in what they're doing anyway, you know, from what we've heard over the last few years, in my opinion. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I really want you to try energizing your chakras in the shower, and just post below. Tell me how you feel and if it changed you, or if you feel anything or you didn't feel anything. So thank you for listening to me tonight, and hope you've enjoyed this video on how to power up your chakras in the shower. And I look forward to speaking to you again too. So 18 inches, over and out. Bye. 53. Bye.